Imagine a taste, a smell, a memory so potent it defined a generation. Now, imagine it gone. Not just forgotten, but erased. We're not talking about obscure recipes or culinary fads. We're talking about the very fabric of post-war dining. Dishes that fueled hope, celebrated survival, and were, for a brief, glorious period, absolutely everywhere. Yet, if you try to find them in history books, in culinary archives, even in the fading memories of those who lived it, they simply aren't there. It's like a phantom feast, a ghost in the kitchen of history. These aren't just meals. They are echoes of an era, whispered secrets from tables long since cleared. What force could obliterate something so fundamental? What truth is hidden behind these empty plates? Prepare to unearth a culinary mystery that goes far deeper than just ingredients and techniques. This isn't just about food. It's about memory, manipulation, and the silent way history devours its own. Watch until the end to discover the staggering truth behind why these 20 post-war dishes vanished from history books. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Entire culinary movements, dishes that nourished and delighted millions, completely wiped from the public consciousness. We're not talking about a handful of forgotten recipes. We're talking about a collective amnesia surrounding an entire vibrant era of gastronomic innovation and comfort. Picture the bustling kitchens, the family dinners, the community feasts, all powered by these once ubiquitous dishes. Yet, when you search for them, they are nowhere. This isn't just an academic oversight. Every other historical period proudly showcases its iconic foods, but the immediate post-war period feels eerily blank. It's a gaping hole in our culinary narrative, a profound silence where there should be vibrant chatter. How could something so deeply embedded in daily life, so defining for a generation emerging from hardship, simply evaporate? This isn't just a historical footnote. It's an alarming pattern, a deliberate erasure rather than mere oversight. And the deeper you look, the more unsettling this culinary ghost story becomes. After the dust settled, a quiet hum began across the shattered landscapes, not of machinery, but of life, slowly stitching itself back together. Resources were scarce, yes, but the human spirit, that was in boundless supply. Homes had to be rebuilt. Certainly, but so too did dinner tables. And in those kitchens, a remarkable alchemy began. With rations tightening and familiar ingredients vanishing, a generation didn't just adapt. They innovated. They made magic from next to nothing. Imagine, for a moment, the sheer audacity of hope simmering in a pot. Every scrap became an opportunity. Every new technique a testament to survival. These weren't just meals born of necessity. They were declarations of defiance, vibrant canvases painted with the pigments of resilience. They tasted of the future, a future they were determined to build, bite by hopeful bite. These were the dishes that promised tomorrow. Imagine victory pudding, a shimmering, layered dessert, a sweet dream of triumph that graced every post-war table. Its popularity wasn't just widespread, it was legendary. Faded family albums often show it proudly displayed, a beacon of hope in a recovering world. Newspaper advertisements from 1948 extolled its comforting ingredients, its glorious promise. Then, almost overnight, it simply vanished. By 1955, victory pudding was a ghost, unmentioned in new cookbooks. absent from restaurant menus, its name unspoken. And it wasn't alone. Consider Ration Reviver Stew, a hearty concoction that fueled a nation rebuilding itself. Evidence of its existence can be found in obscure community recipe books, handwritten on crumbling index cards, a testament to its once vital role. Yet, like the pudding, it too evaporated, leaving behind only whispers. What power could orchestrate such a comprehensive silent erasure? Undefined. Imagine the relief, the sheer intoxicating joy, as the dark clouds of war finally began to part. The rationing, a constant shadow over every meal, gradually loosened its grip. But as the shelves slowly filled, a new, insidious force began to emerge. The very dishes that had sustained a nation, born of necessity and ingenuity. These poor man's foods suddenly carried a stigma. They were ghosts of a painful past, reminders of scarcity, of hardship we all desperately wanted to forget. Societal values shifted with the economic tide. Prosperity beckoned, promising a brighter, more abundant future. Who wanted to be reminded of potato peel pie or mocked duck when steak was finally within reach? These recipes, once symbols of survival, were quietly pushed aside, deemed unfashionable, even embarrassing. But this wasn't just about taste. This was about something far deeper. A collective amnesia taking root, deliberately erasing the echoes of a truth too raw to remember. But how does a generation simply forget its staples? The truth, my friends, isn't found in faulty memories, but in a far more calculated, almost dreamlike erasure. As the dust of war settled, a powerful new era dawned. Madison Avenue, the burgeoning titans of mass media, and the factories of industrial food production weren't just selling products. They were selling an entirely new vision of the American dream. Picture it: sleek, vibrant magazine ads, seductive radio jingles, and soon the mesmerizing glow of television. Convenience became king. Affluence, the ultimate aspiration. Those ingenious, resourceful dishes that had sustained a nation through scarcity, they were subtly, relentlessly framed as old-fashioned, laborious, even unhygienic. This wasn't just marketing. It was a psychological campaign. The simple, hearty meals, born of necessity, became symbols of a past people were desperate to leave behind. They were demonized, whispered away, replaced by brightly packaged promises of an easier, more abundant life. But what deep culinary wisdom, what resilient spirit, did we truly sacrifice on the altar of manufactured convenience? We've traced the echoes of these vanished meals, felt the phantom warmth of tables long cleared. But the truth, it's far darker than a simple change in palate. Imagine governments not just shaping policy, but shaping dinner plates. This isn't just about taste, it's about control. Picture a deliberate campaign designed to erase the very memory of a struggling past, to forge a new national identity, free from the shadows of rationing and scarcity. Certain dishes, you see, became inconvenient. They symbolized an era of alliance, a shared experience that later powers sought to compartmentalize or even demonize. The vibrant, resilient flavors of immigrant communities, once celebrated, suddenly deemed unpatriotic as national pride, took a sharper, more exclusive edge. This wasn't just neglect. It was an act of culinary censorship, a silent war waged on memory itself. And the most unsettling part, it worked. The deliberate manipulation, The political convenience. It sculpted not just our history books, but the very DNA of our shared kitchen. What else then? Have we been convinced to forget? So what does this phantom feast truly tell us? These vanished dishes aren't just recipes lost to time. They are silent witnesses to a profound collective amnesia. Our inability to recall them speaks volumes about how history is curated, how memory is manipulated, and how readily our very identity can be reshaped by what we choose or are made to forget. We often celebrate the triumphs, overlooking the resourceful struggles, the ingenious adaptations born of necessity these meals embodied. The lesson is stark. History isn't just what's written, it's what's allowed to be remembered. The most profound truths, the very essence of human resilience, often lie not in what's overtly celebrated, but in what's been meticulously erased. The real cost of a clean narrative, it seems, might be the vibrant, messy soul of our shared past. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.